Hello, welcome to the Talking Michigan Transportation Podcast. I'm Jeff Cranston. Well, we've had some snow in the Upper Peninsula. We're forecasted to get the first significant snow downstate in the next few days, so I thought it was a good time to reprise this episode from 2021 when MDOT first launched an innovative program to encourage the public to give names to snowplows. It's been a lot of fun. We've done some things with schools and other organizations. The kids have really enjoyed naming the plows and getting to see them as they come to the schools with the drivers, talking to them about them, and they get to see how they work and what it's all about. And it helps for tracking the plows on the MyDrive site, which is a great way to see where plows have been. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving weekend.
Hi, welcome again to Talking Michigan Transportation. Have you heard the names For Your Ice Only, Gangsta Granny Gritter, Gritalica, Gritty Gritty Bang Bang, or Ice Buster? These aren't films, nor are they rock bands. These are names for gritters, which is what our friends in Scotland call snowplows. We've been inspired by a program that they launched to let the public name their gritters, and MDOT has launched a similar initiative for state-owned plows on the roads. So today I'm going to talk about this novel means of public engagement, first with Iain McDonald of Transport Scotland, and later with Nick Schirripa and Courtney Bates of the MDOT Office of Communications.
And I'm talking today with Iain McDonald of Transport Scotland. Iain has agreed to come on and talk to us about their plow naming initiative, which inspired MDOT to create a similar program. And I think some other states, I know Minnesota is doing something too. But Iain, thanks for taking time to do this. Could you just tell us how this idea to name your what you call gritters, how that came to be?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. The idea came about probably around 4 years ago when to really increase public awareness after a spell of bad weather. Occasionally we could pick up some bad sort of thoughts from the members of the public around the usual question that whenever there's bad weather, we never see a gritter on the road. So we set about a program of doing a bit of publicity on the value of the fleet that we have. I mean, we have 213 gritters in the fleet across all the operating companies that provide our service across the trunk road network. So there can be 180 of these running about, as it probably will be tonight. And just to get past that question that the public always ask, where are they? We decided to progress a gritter tracker, which actually sits on the Traffic Scotland website. We use that for conveying information on travel to the public across Scotland. And it sits as a portal on the website, and it allows the public to go in and see live all over the country where each of the trunk road gritters is located and how long it's been out, where it's been treating on the road, if it's salted or hasn't salted in the past couple of hours. So it gives them a real picture of the range of fleet that we have out there.
So there's a real transparency component to it. You're showing, what you're doing, how money's being spent. But are you surprised at the incredible success and that this became such a Twitter phenomenon?
It's certainly grown in popularity since we decided to start naming them. That's really increased the take-up and public interest, especially with schools, with local communities across Scotland. And they've all engaged in doing that, picking up in some very creative and inventive names, which you've probably seen.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
My favourite, probably after the success recently of the Scotland football team, was it's got to be Yes Sir Ice Can Boogie. But we've had quite a few. There's a lot of innovation goes on with the contributors, and there's a whole new range. We just had 25 new suggestions coming from one community, including a whole range of James Bond names. So once they heard that we were coming on to speak to you guys as well, they've also suggested Ellen DeGeneres. So I thought that may be popular with the American followers.
I think Gangsta Granny Gritter, Gritter Thunberg, Grit Expectations, License to Chill. That's a fun one. Going to your previous comments. Let's see. Sandy the Solway Salter, Scotland's bravest gritter. I don't know how you decide who's bravest. Yes, sir. Ice can boogie. So ours are still coming in. As of this recording, we are at about 10,000 nominations. There's only some 360 plows in the Michigan MDOT fleet. Several local agencies have their own plows, so maybe they'll adopt it too. But going forward, do you see this? What are you thinking about the future? Will you give new names each year, or will the same name stick with a gritter for a while? Have you thought that?
We're approaching the stage where we hope to have a name on them all, and that's now getting the stage where it's requiring some real thought to get pretty cute and innovative names on these, and a lot of that, as I said, is done on the public, maybe a local edge to these things as well. But yeah, certainly keeping as new characters come on board and certain things happen. Greta Thunberg's an example of that, and as people sort of come and go, there's the opportunity, as there is when we change our operating companies and they bring their own engagement into that fleet. So it's a real drive to try and get a name on every single gritter.
Have the drivers embraced this? Do they see it as something that's fun and interesting?
I think they do. I think locally they're all known for the vehicle that they drive. Some of them might be unfortunate, depending on what that name is, but I think most of them really like and are quite proud of the names that they have on that particular vehicle, and they've become quite a local celebrity.
I'm guessing some folks might be surprised to know you get much snow in Scotland. Obviously, you have lowlands and highlands, and most of that snow is in the highlands. But how many significant snow events do you see in a year?
They can range from few and far. But recently we've had a spell where we've gone through a period of about 3 weeks where we've had continued snow. As you say that, we on our roads around about 200 metres and above, that's where we start to see a more concentrated and continued snowfall. But as I look outside the window at the moment, it's snowing here in Perth in Scotland, and it's due to be snowing across the country again tonight. And we're keeping our eyes closely on the ongoing cold period that we've got here, where it's to continue to snow for quite a wee while.
Are any of your UK neighbours adopting this naming initiative?
They are indeed. A lot of the local authorities, the councils, both in Scotland and in England, are picking up on it. One of the portal itself, once they've been able to see them on a tracker, that is in itself, where you can look at it on the trafficscotland.org website, is put out quite a lot of publicity on that. We've had a lot of inquiries following the build-up of the site and the publicity that's generated. And a lot of the local authorities have seen the real advantages of having that sort of public-facing facility to show that there is a fleet out there and there is a lot of work getting done. And it helps to put the message across and let the public see that there are a lot of vehicles out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we use. Our website, it's called My Drive, Michigan Drive. And we encourage people to look and see where plows have been, like you said, where salt has been put down. And part of knowing before you go is checking out those conditions and knowing what you're going to be facing when you go out there. I think you can't say enough about the safety aspect of this. And if you can also have some fun with it, that's great.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's using the balance to put into that message and getting it across to the public. It always helps if you can put a bit of fun into that, and it helps get the message across and get the engagement. And as I said earlier, especially with the school kids, they're always particularly engaging on that, and the teams, our comms teams across the board, spend a lot of time working with the local communities to get that engagement in the schools.
Yeah, we started our initiative by engaging an elementary school in Benton Harbor in the southwest part of Michigan, which is along Lake Michigan and a heavy snow belt. So we knew it's a place where, obviously we have a lot of snow to plow. Most years, this year has been down in terms of snowfall, although the winter's not over yet. How are you? Are you tracking with your annual snowfall, or are you lower than usual?
We're probably higher than on average than we've been, but we don't get as much as you do. Our last big occurrence would have been what we called the Beast from the East back in 2018. So we have been in conjunction with the Met Office over here, we've been looking at the trend towards another beast from the east. Thankfully, and maybe thankfully, depends on which side of the fence you sit on. We've managed to avoid that up to now. So we're keeping a close eye on that potential for another one of these soon.
What did you get any pushback on this? Was there any criticism at all? Did people say, well, that's just silly. Why are you wasting your time doing this?
I think the popularity always outweighs any silliness, and I think it's more and more buy-in. It's as people see the popularity grow, and I think as long as we just stick to as you probably do, we stick to the set of rules that we don't offend anybody with the names, and we apply common sense. It always seems to just the public appreciate what we're doing with it.
Yeah, and you can't control what gets said on Twitter.
No, you can't. No.
Well, that's great. Is there anything else that you want to add about the program, or say about how you think it's going?
No, just thanks for the opportunity to put the publicity out there. If anybody's interested, they can see the portal and they can see our fleet moving about on trafficscotland.org, and the Gritter tracker portal's up there. Go visit and see which of the gritters I like the look of.
And Traffic Scotland is part of Transport Scotland, right? Is that just your site?
Traffic Scotland is the portal which gives out information for the trunk road network across Scotland, traffic information, incidents, and a whole host of information on there, including winter service that we provide the Gritter tracker, and it also updates on a nightly basis. It's from 3:00 this afternoon. It'll give all the travelling public an insight into all the treatments, and they can check the local network and the trunk road network where they are to check what the proposed salt treatments are on the road in their area.
Well, thanks, Iain. This is I'm really glad that you guys had such success with this, and it inspired some folks in our agency and others around the states to do something similar. I think it's nothing but good. It engages people. It's transparency. It gives people some sense of what's going on, and maybe even the kids see it and think about careers and what they could do in terms of maintenance for highway and roads departments.
Yeah, let's hope they do, and we'll keep a close eye on your output as well. Look forward to seeing that.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Welcome back. And as promised, for the second segment today, we're going to be talking with Nick Schirripa, who is the Media Relations Specialist for MDOT in our Southwest region, which is centered in Kalamazoo and includes the counties to a little bit of the north and east, but mostly to the southwest of Kalamazoo. And then we'll also be talking with Courtney Bates, who is a specialist in the central office at MDOT and has been key in helping to spearhead this effort, both in terms of getting the names on my drive and following up on all the names that are being offered. And I think as of now, we're well above 10,000. Is that right?
Yeah, we're at 10,300 names.
So what do you think, Courtney, in terms of what this could mean for us? I mean, let's talk about, it's fun, but let's talk about the benefits first. And because you have a significant hand in my drive and our efforts to communicate with the public about road incidents and roads that are clear and roads that have delays and, the whole know before you go concept. How does this help with that?
Sure. Getting just the attention brought to the snowplows that we have on our MyDrive site is driving people to our MyDrive application, which, of course, as you stated, we talk about construction, we show our incidents, we show our plows, and probably most importantly, our cameras. And we know that people are coming out to our MyDrive site to, like you say, know before you go. And so they're checking their routes, and they're doing this through our camera views and the snowplow cameras and things like that. So they're ultimately making informed decisions about the possible delays in road conditions that we have, and ultimately saving them time, frustration, and promoting safety when we do that.
So you both heard Iain McDonald from Transport Scotland talk about why this was important to them in terms of transparency and people being able to actually see where the plows were. And just by giving them names, it makes it easier to track and maybe makes it more interesting, makes people more likely to want to go on there and see it. Nick, you've been dealing with a lot of media requests for interviews since this was launched more than a week ago. What kinds of questions are you getting, and what seems to be most interesting to the reporters you're talking to?
Honestly, I think that it starts as kind of the entertainment factor. This is a neat idea. Why would you do this? Where did the idea come from? Certainly a tip of the cap to Iain and the folks at Traffic Scotland. It's a great idea. It really does kind of attract the eye. It's a creative way to get the foot in the door. And like Courtney said, it really does draw people's attention to my drive and to that kind of that public gateway to what we do. And while naming plows may seem like just kind of a fun way to engage the public in that interface, it really humanizes one of the most important groups of employees in our agency and the jobs they do, highlighting the importance of their safety and the vital work they perform every day for Michigan families and our guests.
I think that's a really good point, because it's easy to go by these big trucks, whether they're MDOT plows or they're a local road agency's plows, and it's just a nameless, faceless machine going down the road. And you're right, it's a good thing to remember that that's a real person that's out there taking some risk to make the roads better for us. So that kind of goes to our decision to partner out of the gate on kind of our pilot with this with Fair Plains Elementary in Benton Harbor. It sounds like the principal, teacher, and the kids have been very enthusiastic about this.
Yeah, they really embraced the idea. We pitched the idea right out of the gate, and it took them all of about 8 nanoseconds to jump all over the idea. And they pitched 3 names. It was a 5th grade class, and one of the 3 names was their school mascot. So there is an MDOT plow that runs M63 right up and down in front of Fair Plains East Elementary in Benton Harbor, named Tiger. And that opens up, I think, more than just the opportunity to humanize that plow and that operator and that whole operation, but it also gives us an opportunity to introduce career opportunities to those kids, deliver safety messages, and create real relationships with those students, the faculty, the parents, and our staff, between our staff and that community. So I think there's a lot of really valuable benefits that can come out of that relationship.
Well, since you mentioned that name, Tiger, Courtney, and you've been sifting through these thousands of submissions, talk about some of your favorites.
So a few of my favorites, I particularly thought Kid Rock Salt was pretty creative. We've had a lot of Plowy McPlowface entries, so that seems really popular. Orange Slush, Darth Grader, Frosted Flakes, Orange Thunder. Those are just a few that are kind of fun.
Nick, what about you?
Man, Sir Salts-a-Lot. I saw that one a few dozen times. It's Snow Problem, Snow Place Like Home, Snow Baka. But hands down, my favorite so far has been Snowtorious BIG. That's been my favorite so far.
Because that was yours.
Negative. I came up with a couple, but I'm not good at the stuff. I like Salt Disney, Veruca Salt. That one just made me giggle, but we can't use that one just because it's a famous name. But people are really clever. Way more creative than I am. So it's been a lot of fun to see all the creativity. I got exposed to a few hundred of them on Twitter in a matter of a few hours, right? I mean, that's kind of been my exposure to the list. And Courtney has been overwhelmed, being 10,300 plus in the master list that we've compiled through the website. I have not seen that list yet. I am scared to death to see that list. I can't even imagine reading through that many names. I'm kind of giddy, to be honest. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see all the creativity that people have foisted upon us.
And we've actually had a really good outreach from the elementary schools. That piece of it, we've had quite a few send some names in, so that'll be fun to go through those as well. And in all various parts of the state, not just Southwest region.
Well, and we talked about this, and I think that, we kind of crept into this, wanted to pilot it and see how it goes. And there's an education process that goes along with this, of course. But I think as it stands now, we should be able to, resume this in earnest and probably learn from what we've done so far and have something even better going into next snow season. So, Nick, what do you think about the future and how your drivers are embracing the idea?
This is really drawing attention to the value of what they do and who they are, and showing the entire state. Showing everybody that not only do we internally value them, but we want everybody to appreciate them and appreciate their safety and their worth. That's kind of our goal here, right? Overall. So,
Courtney, will you talk about My Drive, and you mentioned that most of its use are on desktops, laptops, and not so much on mobile devices. Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm hoping that it's because people are looking at their stuff before they head out the door. Obviously, we don't encourage people to use their phones while driving. So I just think people are looking at that. I think what they're looking at, again, and we know from the stats that are coming in from My Drive, we have over 3 million page views in My Drive for 2020. Of those, the largest amount of clicked items on our toolbar are the cameras, the construction, and then the plows. And so we know that people are looking to see what those road conditions are before they leave their house. So hopefully they're making better decisions about maybe not even going out that day if the snow is really bad and the roads are, the plows are out working and it's snowing hard. So I think people are looking at that, and I'm hoping, my biggest hope being in safety, is that they're not using their devices in their car. Instead, they're looking before they go.
Yeah, I think you're right. Obviously, this whole thing is about safety, and if it can be fun, and if it takes a little fun to get people more engaged, then all the better. Is there anything else?
You
want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the day we announced our snowplow initiative on that Sunday, January 17th, we actually saw a 50% increase in traffic to My Drive that day. So that's really telling. So that's getting people out there. It's getting them interested. It's getting them to look. And maybe they're going to see when they come out to My Drive that it's not just plows and cameras, but we have constructions and we have incidents and, those other things that will help make their travel decisions when they head out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Driving more people to the site so they can find out all the other features that they probably didn't know about. That's a great collateral benefit of this whole thing.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thanks again, both of you. And thanks earlier to Iain McDonald for his part in this. I think this was a good conversation, and we'll be talking about this more as the initiative moves forward. Thanks. I'd like to thank you once more for tuning in to Talking Michigan Transportation. You can find show notes and more on Apple Podcasts or Buzzsprout. I also want to acknowledge the talented people who help make this a reality each week, starting with Randy Debler, who skillfully edits the audio, Jesse Ball, who proofs the content, Courtney Bates, who posts the podcast to various platforms, and Jackie Salinas, who transcribes the audio to make it accessible to all.